How big is your block? The world has changed with real estate under your nose without anyone realizing. Block size matters, or does it? Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it and how it affects real estate. Stay tuned. Aha.
Good morning.
Aha.
It's all about the big blocks this morning. Get your
It's
rocks
all
off
about
with those big blocks.
It's a big topic, and you know what? It's Xanthony. This has happened without anybody realizing. Like the influence of a block size has changed in everyone's world. Mum and Dad's house, Grandma's house, your house.
Yeah.
The value of the property, all that stuff. Before we talk about it, how are you?
I'm really well, thank you. Beautiful morning. Woke up fresh. How are you?
Really good. Really good. Had our little JD's birthday yesterday. My little 16-year-old turned 17.
Oof. Party time. I was a wild child when I was 17, so good luck to you.
God,
no.
They're different. It was weird looking around the dinner table last night. Everyone's growing up and the dinner table's getting bigger. The family's growing.
It is.
Boys are there, boyfriends. It was interesting.
Gosh, I wouldn't have invited my boyfriend when I was 17 to my family dinner. Whoa, I don't even like introducing guys to my mum now.
It's funny, eh? It's funny, eh? So tell us, how are you today?
Yeah, really well. Looking forward to battling through this topic and sharing the love of all things block size.
So what do you reckon with this block size thing? We were having a chat off air about this, and the sizes, what people love, what people don't love, and stuff. It's I think there's always been the reservation of, am I doing the wrong thing? I know I like what I like, but is this block size going to make me money? Is it going to impede when I go to sell, because the block is not this size, or because the block is a particular size? How's that going to work? It's really, really changed. You've had granny flats coming in, which has changed also that profile, which was never really a consideration. There used to be subdivision, and that's why people love to have the big block, because they had the potential opportunity down the track to do it. But that was spearheaded for a good 20-25 years. Granny flats were brought in, but you don't even need a big block for a granny flat. You only need to be over 450. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about here, and things to watch out for if you're going for a big block, small block.
Yeah, it is quite topical. There is a lot to talk about. There's a lot to get through. And I suppose tearing it right down to basics, this is coming hot off one of the properties we had or have on the market in the Northern Beaches. And the house was positioned away from the street, so a massive front yard with not much backyard, which is really bastardizing the block, and it's not utilizing the space to the best of the ability. So where I'm getting to this is, yes, you might have a decent block size, but where does your home fit on that block in order to capitalize on that space?
Now, I'd like to point people to a suburb like Freshwater. Freshwater inherently is all 400 metre square blocks. Now, for some people, they may go, "Oh my God, that's just not big enough for me." It's tiny. But in Freshwater, the size of the house, the quality of the house, the type of the house is astonishing of what you can get on a block that's 400 metres squared. So it gives people incentive. But when people are traditionally from a 600-700 metre square block, they sort of look at that and go, shit, that's like 50% smaller. Can we start here?
Yep.
Block sizes. what's a quarter acre block?
1,011 meters squared.
Okay, so that's a massive block.
That's huge. I don't know many people this day and age right now around the Northern Beaches that have a block size of over 658 to 700 meters squared, let alone 1,011. That's massive.
A 5 acre block? It's a mini farm.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's a mini farm. So 1,100 meter square block, quarter acre, it's a massive block. 800 meter square block.
Yep.
Big. It's big.
That's also a big block, yeah.
That's big. A 500 or 600 meter square block.
Look, I think anything around the 600 to 700 to me is quite standard. 500's pushing on the bit of a smaller side. Anything less than 600 to me, it sounds much smaller.
Okay.
558 meters squared doesn't sound as appealing as 658.
Okay. 450 meter square block, 400.
Sounds small, right?
Sounds small.
Sounds small.
280 to 320 meter square block.
Tiny townhouse.
Tiny. So there's your so that would pretty much, so you're not going to get a house, guys and girls, that's on a block that's under 250 meters squared, 200 meters squared. You're sort of more in that townhouse territory once you go below 200. And when you're around the 1,100, you are an absolute hero, possibly ready for subdivision where you can chop your block. And I guess that just gives people like a bit of a spatial reference as to what's big, what's small, what's good, what's bad. What has changed is we've gotten really good at floor plans.
We have
so,
a lot of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to say?
I was going to say, look, it is a massive comment from a lot of the buyers out there regarding the floor plans. We love a conventional floor plan. We don't particularly love the awkward, weird kind of floor plans that are different to navigate around. You kind of want that free-flowing open space, which is what we are really good at, the floor plan.
So block size doesn't matter, in my opinion. I'm putting it out there. Block size doesn't matter as much. Block house efficiency, how it sits on the block, where it sits on the block matters. Yeah. Forward on the block, back on the block, sits well on the block. And floor plan efficiency, getting more out of your floor plan, matters more. And I do have to say, that's what's distinctly changed in the last 10, 15 years of building. People have gotten damn good at floor plan efficiency, and they've gotten damn good at al fresco outdoor blending, where their house sits on the block, garaging, carporting. People have just gotten real smart. Anthony, all houses looked the same in the 50s. The floor plan right?
Even in my parents' street. So my parents live in Elanora Heights, and there are 3 houses that are exactly the same, slightly different finishes externally, but the same layout. So, and their house would have been built in the 60s kind of build. So absolutely, I can see where you're coming from.
They all look the same. Like if you go back further to the 40s, they were identical floor plan. They were all full brick. They were little fellas on the block. They stamped them on the blocks. The block sizes were all the same. There wasn't much. You couldn't customize like you can today in today's world. Colors, floor plans, finishes, like the stuff that's going into these places these days is bloody incredible. So I think when you're considering your block size, guys and girls, these days, that's not the only question like it used to be. The question is the how it sits, the efficiency on how it sits on the block. And to give you an idea, you can absolutely screw your block of land by building your house in the wrong position on it. Example, you can waste the whole front yard to do absolutely zip, nada, and nothing, or you can push the house as far forward on the block. You can get carporting off the front. You can get fencing off the front to enclose that front yard. You can electric gate, not as expensive as it used to be. Intercom, not as expensive as it used to be.
Yeah.
So you're starting to optimize and use that front yard to an absolute max capacity, which then optimizes your backyard. But sometimes we get houses that just sit like a shit all on the block with the wrong floor plan, and you walk in and go, how big's the block? This is rubbish. I don't like it.
Yep, completely agree. You need to be able to utilize every single meter on your block and really capitalize on that. You don't really want that awkward floor plan, and you want to be able, I suppose, if you're buying a family home and we're talking about block sizes, what do you want for your family home? You want the backyard, an enclosed backyard, hopefully a level backyard so it's child friendly, and then potentially somewhere to add scope. So do you want to add the granny flat or a pool or a really large al fresco dining area to enjoy those family friendly moments on there? You just won't be able to do that if you butcher your block and bastardize it by placing your house on the wrong spot and then not utilizing all of that space around it. Don't focus so much. Yes, you do need to focus on the quality of finishes, but also bring it to basics and think, where is your house actually sitting on that land?
And another trend that I'm seeing, well said, another trend that I'm seeing in Warriewood, Northern Beaches, 250 to 300 blocks.
Okay, well, we have a couple of blocks on sale actually in Warriewood. And what are they? About 363 or something? 400?
There's 250s, 280s.
Yeah, which is interesting when we were talking about the houses that you can build on it. You can have the 9.5 meter frontage. It still will suit a 2-story home, 4-bed, 2-car, 3-bath. So it's crazy to think how these configurations can fit on such a small block.
Some of the magic that people have got to keep an eye out for, the council makes you do a metre setback from the left boundary and a metre setback from the right boundary. Now, on a 20 metre run, you're going to lose 20 metres squared on the left and 20 metres squared on the right. You're going to lose 40 metres squared of home. You can do a thing called zero lot alignment on some blocks, which means council doesn't require you to set back from the side boundary. And what that then means is you're not losing that 40 metres squared because your house is going to go out wider. So these blocks are zero lot alignment, and a buyer would never know to ask that question, but zero lot alignment's really, really important. And it's really interesting because we sold 30 of these blocks in Bubbelow Street in Warriewood, and the size of the homes that people built, 4 or 5 bed, 3 bathroom, 2 lounge rooms, single garage, double garage, some of them. And it was like, you got a massive home, and they did really, really well, but block size was the problem when we were selling it.
And then just look at how creative and smart people have been in purchasing those homes and what it looks like now. I mean, I haven't driven through Bubbelow Street since all of these homes have been finished. It would be interesting to see just what can be built on the small block sizes. And so were they quite a hard sell, those smaller blocks? And were they the 0 meter alignment?
Yeah, yes and yes. I don't think anyone took up the zero lot alignment because they had enough floor space in their floor spaces there. But what was interesting is we all grew up in, all these guys that bought grew up in 700, 800, 1,000 metre square blocks. So they were like, this is like half what I grew up on. But when we gave them the plans that the builders had done for those blocks, they were like, that's exactly the house that I want to build. That's the accommodation. We can spec it how we want. We love it. Those guys bought 5 years ago and they made an absolute fortune, not just off the property market going up, but because they built. So I had a client that built and bought the land and built, and it ended up being 1.1 mil. That property today in Bubbelow Street, every day of the week, 2.2 to 2.4.
Wow. Gosh.
Yeah.
And how many years ago? That wouldn't have been all that long ago that these guys built.
5.
Yeah, 5 years
Man,
ago. Okay.
it was 2018, and it felt like it was a lot longer ago. But he got in there, he ripped in, he did a spec builder. This particular guy was an electrician, did a spec builder just to do it all for him, because he's like, mate, I can't build it for that with my buddies. I can't build it for that. Smashed it. He's renting it, I think, for $1,500 a week now.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
Warriewood.
It's out there.
There's not too many
So
vacant blocks of land in Warriewood these days.
It's anywhere.
Yeah. The complete landscape
Northern
of
Beaches
Warriewood changed. Yep.
Yep, and Northern Beach is a beachfront suburb, like it, not just beachside, beachfront suburb. Like it is, it's a corker to be on a beachfront anywhere on the east coast, and particularly in Sydney. You're doing real well. So it's a magical suburb. We do have stuff for sale in there, by the way, guys, if you're keen. But that's our show for today. And what I want out of today for everyone to get is the 3 digits on the block size is these days is not enough. To say 700, 600, 500, 300, you can't just look at those 3 digits. You've got to look at the efficiency of where you're building the house on the block and optimizing the front and backyard, and you've got to look at the efficiency of your internal floor plan to optimize on these blocks.
Yeah, completely agree, and couldn't have said it better myself.
Woo!
I think that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap. Bang. See you, legends. Guys, take care. See ya.